Welcome to Jets Rewind. I'm Marty Shupak in Valley Cottage, New York, and I'm joined by Ray Clifford from Marysville, Ohio. Ralph Sharega, he might be joining us, but he is in the midst now of traveling between gigs, so I don't know if he'll make it. Ray, how you doing?
Great.
Well, Ray,
My celebratory Jets Rewind mug, and I'm having a celebratory cup of coffee.
okay, good. Not Irish coffee, right?
No.
Okay, but anyway, just again, I just want to. I mentioned it last time. We got Ray involved in a group in Columbus, Ohio, a Jets group, which is really panning out. I'm very happy, Ray, that you found a bunch of Jet fans there, and you'll see next week it'll be growing too. But yeah, but I'll tell you, Ray, for the second time in 2 weeks, the Jets they came back in a dramatic fashion. And to me, in nothing could beat that Cleveland game, but in a way, for the long term, this game might have been more important just because it was Zach Wilson's return and he looked spotty throughout the game. But in the fourth quarter during crunch time, he came through. And Ray, I gave you a stat that I think his quarterback rating for the game was like 59. Yeah, 59. But his quarterback rating for the fourth quarter was 139.9, which is that's what you want from a quarterback, Ray. So I'm gonna just get your immediate reaction. Then I want to just give kudos to a few players that I actually wanted to sweep out the door. As Ray and Ralph know, I have a knee-jerk type of reaction, and I don't really tolerate it a lot.
Not you.
Yeah. So, Ray, let me have your immediate reaction, then I'll go through some players.
Well, first of all, I think this was a way bigger win than Cleveland because Cleveland, as much as exciting and amazing as that win was, Cleveland lost that game. They handed it to us by doing everything possible they could have done wrong in the last minute 55. This game, we took this game. This game we won. It was not a gift from Pittsburgh. We earned this one completely. This wasn't just, hey, we lucked out or anything. We played a solid game, and not perfect by any means, but a solid game. And in the end, we drove the ball down and scored, and afraid there for a second that we may have 16 seconds may have been too much that we left him, but it panned out. As far as Zach and his QBR or whatever the hell they go by on that, the 59. Well, I can only imagine what it would have been if he had played the fourth quarter the way he played the first three then, because he was great. I think we talked a bit, and my one concern about Zach, one of a few, but a couple is he seems to be holding on to the ball too long, throwing it to guys too late when some guys are already on him, getting rid of it the last second. He's got to get rid of it while they're open and able to run. The other thing, he's got to widen his view. He seems like, if you watch, he doesn't throw very well outside the numbers. It's almost like he doesn't see outside the numbers on the field, but in the middle of the field, he's outstanding. His throws seem to be on the money. He can hit tight windows, but he isn't so great. He misses guys. I know he missed Elijah Moore on one. He missed Garrett Wilson on another when he just never looked that way. So he's got to go through his reads a little better and make a few better plays. But first game back, he's going to be a little rusty. They can work on that with him. I hope the coaches saw that too and kind of work on that with him and say, hey, you got to view the whole field and get rid of it a little quicker if you can. As soon as the guy's open, hit him so he has time to do something. Where he's thrown it to him too often when the guy's right there and taking the guy down right away. If he hits him at all, he was a little erratic when he's thrown to the outside too.
Yeah, Ray, and my feeling about quarterbacks is seeing the field is the most important part of the game for me. I'll give up a little bit in mobility. I'll give up a little bit in release and arm. I just want him to see the open receivers.
Yeah.
Uh, I just want to throw some kudos because, I've been throwing Jets players under the bus left and right. I've been doing it on the Jets Rewind show. I've been doing it on the Jets Rewind Plus. I more or less put a guarantee on Saturday. I said the only way the Jets could win this game is if Kenny Pickett doesn't come in the game. I said if he comes in the game, it's a guarantee Steeler victory. And it looked like that for a bit, but thank God I was wrong. But a few players, and I want to start out by giving credit to LaMarcus Joyner. I did not want him on the field today, and I thought he really came through.
He made several big plays, and I didn't either. I was a little disappointed to see Will Parks was inactive, to be honest with you. But hey, he played. He played a solid game. So maybe he just needed some time to get back into the flow because he was all ready to retire after last, in the off season, and we talked him out of it, or the Jets talked him out of it. So maybe he's coming around. We'll see what he does next week.
I also want to give kudos to the receiver, Corey Davis, who I've been on. He had an outstanding game. He made one mistake, blocking a guy in the back, which they caught. But besides that, besides the catches he was making, and they were all big catches, he was doing a fine job blocking downfield.
Yeah, he had a big game.
Yeah. And the last player, and he didn't play all pro. And I just want to say, I'm the type of guy, I like to stick up for people when everyone gangs up on a guy over and over and big time. And I was ganging up on him, but I sort of calmed down towards the end of the week because wherever I went on the radio, on the TV, on newspapers, all I heard was this guy, Connor McDermott, how awful he was. And again, I don't want to say he played like a Pro Bowler.
McGovern or McDermott?
McDermott.
Okay.
Connor McDermott.
Okay.
But he had to come in when Max Mitchell went out at right tackle. And except for the one play where he jumped, illegal procedure, I actually thought he didn't do an awful job. He did okay. So it's kudos to him. And I'm happy for the guy too. I really
he got the one illegal downfield, which I thought was kind of a chintzy call. He was blocking a guy about a yard down the field, but
he
engaged the guy. When he engaged the guy, he was fine. He just kept pushing him. He wasn't, to say he was a receiver,
right?
Joke, because he was engaged with the guy the whole time.
Yeah,
so I think they really need to loosen up on that call a little bit when they're
right.
Leeway.
And while we're on that, 2 weeks ago, I was on our kicking game, but Greg Zerline and Braden Mann for the second week in a row, I thought they did really well. So I don't know, this is my mea culpa. Ray, is there anyone else today that I've been getting on that you thought did really well? I'll say this also, I just want to add, he dropped 2 passes, but if you watch this Garrett Wilson, game in and game out, this guy is, to me, he moves like Tyreek Hill. He's got moves like I never saw before. And they didn't say it, but I'm wondering, Ray, if he was a little under the weather when he got hit in the ribs from last week.
Maybe. I think it had a little more to do with the fact that Zach's got chemistry with Elijah Moore, who had a pretty good game himself.
First half, second half he disappeared.
Yeah, but I think they rolled their coverage over his way more and took him away a little bit because he was more involved. But either way, even if it was the first half, I mean, if we saw him for 2 plays in the first 4 games, first 3 games, it was it was a lot. I mean, now if we can incorporate Garrett as well more into the game plan and plus Corey Davis had the big game. So I think, shots were going to other guys, but he missed Garrett Wilson on a couple, but the other guy I would mention that, everybody I think was ready to kill him was Conklin.
I was going to say too. Yeah.
But he made some big
Big
catches on
catches.
the game. That towards the end of the game on that final drive, he made some big plays. So, everybody who seemed to have troubles before kind of did things even either in the game or, from last week to kind of make up for it. So, I mean, everybody was wanting to kill Conklin at the bar there when that ball went, because it wasn't a great throw, but it went right through his hands. And
Oh God, on the interception to
yeah,
Minka Fitzpatrick.
yeah. And then I wanted to kill Adam Archuleta, who was making Minka Fitzpatrick sound like Deion Sanders because he almost returned it for a touchdown. And what a great defensive guy. And the ball it went through our receiver's hands and landed in his lap. I could have made that interception.
Right.
Now, I probably couldn't have run it back like he did, but
Right.
I could have caught it. I mean, pretty much anybody could have.
Minka Fitzpatrick, who originates from Jersey City, New Jersey. That's where my wife is right now.
He's good. I like it.
Babysitting. Oh, I love the guy.
Adam Archuleta was going a little nuts on him. It was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, it
Yeah,
wasn't that great of a pick.
Quickly, Ray, let's just go through the scoring. We deferred. We held them after they were moving the ball a little bit. We scored a field goal. And I guess the second quarter, they scored a field goal to tie it up. And then we drove the ball. Then we had that little bit of a Philly special where Barrios ended up with the ball and threw a touchdown pass to Zach Wilson, which was wonderful, Ray. That was just a phenomenal play. And was everyone going crazy at where you were located?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was such a nice call and he was wide open. So it just went perfectly. I mean, that was a great, I don't like giving LaFleur a lot of credit lately because he irritates me, but that was a great call on his part. There were other plays where it wasn't so. A lot of the people were kind of going down on his play calling a little bit there in the second half, but he all in all he was pretty good, I think. And I think Zach will be better. Even he wasn't horrible. I don't care what the QBR said. He wasn't horrible, but he looked rusty. He looked like he was a little out of sync and things. And boy, if we ever get an offensive line that's actually not pieced together for a few weeks, maybe everybody will look a little better.
Well, Dwayne Brown, they have an option of him coming back to play, I believe. And I heard he's been practicing. I haven't heard what the latest is on Max Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Saleh. They asked him at the press conference. I guess it was about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. He hadn't gotten a word. Before we're off the air, I'll try to Google it, see if something came up. But I assume he went to the hospital for an MRI, whatever. But listen, from someone that looks at the glass always half empty, Dwayne Brown's coming back against Miami.
Yeah.
Who we don't know who's going to play quarterback. For somehow we end up getting by that game. Keep in mind that George Fant is eligible to come up 2 games after that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as bleak as it seemed. Now, we didn't mention they made a move, which I mentioned on Jets Rewind Plus. I had said I had heard some people's suggestion they move Elijah Vera-Tucker to tackle and to get Pittsburgh in as guard. And they did that. And look, it didn't work perfectly. They didn't really, right. The Jets, for everything you say about them getting some nice runs, they have too many negative plays.
They didn't run the ball well at all today, honestly. I mean, they had a play here and there, but all in all, that running game was, I mean, part of it too was, geez, could we run somewhere other than up the middle for 2.5 yards? It seemed like, I mean, one of the guys there go, okay, here we go. First play of the drive, up the middle, 3 yards. And there they go up the middle for 3 yards. It's right. Like, I want to see LaFleur. I mean, I still don't see a lot of the little short 2 or 3 step drop and hit the guy right away passes.
What about a screen pass?
I don't see a screen. Don't see a
screen pass. Screen pass.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, now look, when you do a screen pass, everyone thinks it's easy, but you really have to have a quarterback that's able to sell it
Yeah.
He's not doing it, and hold the ball to the last possible second. If we remember last year,
Yeah.
Zach had a problem on short passes.
Did he ever?
Yeah, and
But
actually, go ahead.
everybody has to kind of do their part. The guys who are going out to block, they have to hold the guy long enough to think that, when they let him go, that he
Right.
got by him, and so that they can sell that and then get out and block. And, everybody has a job, but we don't even try.
Yeah, that kills me.
I haven't seen a running back screen or a wide receiver screen maybe since when? Week 2?
Yeah, but
One?
I just want to mention when I said that, Zach had a problem with short passes. There was one quick pass out to the right to Garrett Wilson. I don't know what he was doing. He threw like a Jacob DeGrom pass ball,
short
a
hopper.
little in front of him, and he had no chance to catch it. But Ray, I just want to get back to the scoring because we had a chance to go into the locker room. I had 10-3, and I guess it was was it a third down play again on that roughing the passer?
Yeah, it would have been fourth down. Yeah.
Yeah, third down, and today's guilty party. It's like every week, Ray, there's another guilty party.
Well, back up just a little bit before that we were driving for a possible score, and Zach threw his first pick of the day. That killed a drive that would have given it. Hopefully, I think we were almost, if we weren't in field goal range, we were almost in field goal range. So he had at least 3.
Right.
And he threw that first pick.
Yeah.
I think it was the same drive. I think it was the following drive when then, we had him stopped short of midfield, but that penalty.
But yeah, but when Carl Lawson, who I thought was having a pretty good game, pressure-wise, when he knocked down Trubisky, I mean, I just started going nuts, and I started writing down notes, and one of my notes says, "Fire Salah, no discipline." What do these guys talk about at the film room? Do they learn anything? I was just going nuts, Ray. This, and I mentioned to you after the game, this goes back, I guess it was the second or third preseason game when Quincy Williams on third down got a personal foul, knocking that guy out of bounds, which there was no reason for that. This stuff has got to stop, Ray, and it keeps going on and on and on. And you know what's funny? The announcer, not just the stupid penalties, but he said the Jets don't have a lot of penalties, but it seems their penalties are a lot more costly because of the timing of them. And I was going to say, welcome to the Jets world we all live in for the last 50 years.
It seems like every time we've got them in third and whatever, and we make a stop, somebody will make a bonehead penalty. And that was one of, I think there was more than one, but that was the most egregious one because it led to, them getting a few points before halftime, which almost you could say what beat us, but we didn't, we overcame it at the end.
Yeah. But was there any doubt he was going to miss that 59-yard field goal, Ray?
No, once it got past the line, I was like, as soon as I saw it was online, I said, it's in. I had no thought that it was going to come up short. I knew he had the leg for it.
Right. Yeah.
I was just hoping to see it going either left or right, but it was going dead center.
Yeah. Now the good thing is we went to the locker room ahead 10-6. It should have been 10-3, and we were getting the kickoff. But Ray, I heard a stat at the end of the game. The Jets have been outscored in the third quarter. I think it's like 31-3.
Yeah.
And it just seems that they come out flat. And of course, they get the kickoff and they just go 3 and out. And on the third down, Garrett Wilson dropped the ball. But I believe that, I don't know if it would have been a first down, to be honest with you. But do you notice that when we come out of the locker room in third quarter, we're just not with it
all the time? I mean, that's the reason we're outscored 30-3. I'm surprised it's only 30-something-3 because it seems like whoever we play comes out and starts marching down the field on us. So, no, I'm not surprised by that. If it's the play I remember, I don't think he would have gotten a first down. I think it would have been short either way.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
but, you know, that to me is, I don't know if it's coaching, but I think it has to do with play calling. I mean, you got to do something and try and, make things happen. It seems like if every time we're coming out of the locker room flat, I can't blame the players because I don't think they're flat. I mean, when it comes to the defense, then I kind of wonder what's going on because it seems like we do a good job holding teams, and all of a sudden in the third quarter, they make adjustments apparently and start moving the ball. And I'm wondering if we make any adjustments. Why all of a sudden our teams running on us better in this second half, and especially the fourth quarter. If we're rotating guys so much and we're so fresh, why aren't we? And all I can say is it's got to be adjustments by one team, and we're staying with what we're doing, thinking, well, it's working, so stick with it. Well, if they make adjustments, you got it too. So
Yeah. Well, anyway, Kenny Pickett came in, my worst nightmare.
Yep.
And he started to drive it, but then I guess he threw an interception. That's when Whitehead intercepted. But no sooner does he intercept than that ball that you just mentioned goes off Tyler Conklin's hands. And Fitzpatrick.
It was a first down too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, it was brutal. And he turned out he was out of bounds. They thought it was a touchdown.
That was the right call, though.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, he sneaked it in for a touchdown. I'll tell you, I love Kenny Pickett, but someone's going to have to wipe that smile off his face.
Yeah.
Where he scored, it's just something about it bothers me.
Well, he took a big shot and made one of his best passes of the day. And he got up, and I'm not sure what he was saying, but he was talking.
He was talking. Yeah, he was talking.
Well, you took a shot and delivered, so I guess you got to be able to talk there. But yeah, he
was talking. He's a Jersey guy, by the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, they scored a touchdown, and they're ahead. Actually, 13-10. Fourth quarter, they scored first, so it was 20-10. And then the Zach Wilson show started, Ray. And the one thing I don't want to overlook, because we had to watch Joe Flacco for 3 weeks. Zach Wilson knows how to extend plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he evaded getting sacked a number of times. And a few other times, he knew how to throw it out of bounds. One time, he didn't throw it far enough. It was borderline interception. But I'm telling you, if Joe Flacco's the quarterback today, there's no way they win that game, Ray.
No, he definitely was able to extend plays and get out of trouble and run around. So Joe would have been nailed right there. I mean, it would have been a done deal. Joe's not that kind of athlete. So he's not getting anybody out of any kind of jam like that.
Right.
A couple times though, to me, it was like, get rid of the ball sooner. Quit running around till the last second and taking a hit. He took one in the first half and got they rolled him back. And if you saw the replay, I'm like, amazing, because that was the same knee and it was kind of under him and it didn't, he got up fine. But I was like, Jesus, that looked like that could have done some damage. He's just got to take care of himself. Get rid of the ball if it ain't
right. Yeah, it's amazing. To me, he looked a lot like what's his name from last week? Joe Burrow. The way they just missed getting him, and he was able to evade people. It's so important, or it just gives you such a little bit of an edge when you have that scrambling ability, which is amazing. I just want to go through their last drive, the Jets, because I heard something interesting. I was actually, Ray, when I'm going to start talking about it, but it was 12 plays. It started on the Jets 35, went 70 yards, took a total of 3 minutes and 18 seconds. First pass was a short middle pass to Corey Davis for 15 yards, a run to Breece Hall for -2, a short pass to middle to Breece Hall for 6 yards, an 8-yard pass over the middle to Tyler Conklin, 8 yards, 10-yard penalty, Corey Davis illegal block above the waist. That was his only mistake of the day. Then there was 11-yard pass to Michael Carter.
Mhm.
And then this was a key. This was great. 17-yard pass, a deep right side to Corey Davis, Ray.
Yeah.
What was you feeling when you saw that play?
Oh, well, just that it was a nice throw and Davis held on. I was just like, that was just yeah, that to me is when I started feeling like, okay, we might have something going here. But again, everything, if you notice on all those plays, the pass plays, everything was to the more or less to the middle of the field from the hash marks in, not really to the sidelines. And so what I want to see improvement out of Zach is that he's seeing the whole field, and because he missed some guys towards the sideline that were open, but that was a huge throw at a huge moment, and it was on the money. Davis made another nice catch. I couldn't have been more thrilled at that point. I'm just like, okay, we're driving. Let's get, we could have, had to settle for a field goal, but any points was my whole thing. Get points at this point so that we, have a shot, because if we didn't score something, we were done.
I had no confidence we were going to win in overtime.
No, not at all.
And apparently Zach Wilson came into the huddle during that drive. I don't know which play. And he said, I want to score an effing touchdown, which is good. It shows leadership.
So did I.
Yeah, which is good. But what's interesting, I heard Robert Saleh, because I started screaming when they started moving the ball, call time, because I thought they were letting too much time run off. But
Which time? The time on the winning drive?
Yeah.
No.
And I was wrong, and you were right. And he said, they asked him, and he said, no, I was talking to Mike LaFleur, and we didn't want to leave too much time left on the clock.
Exactly. They had 2 timeouts left, and when they got down around, what was it, the 3-yard line, and they were letting it run, a couple of the ones in the bar like, timeout. I'm like, no, let it run. We got right. 2 timeouts. We can do anything we want.
You were right.
And if we have to settle for a field goal, we're fine. But I didn't want, I thought the same thing. I don't want to leave them 50 seconds.
Yeah. And it was close too, but it worked out anyway. After the 17-yard pass to Davis, there was a 5-yard run. Michael Carter left guard. It actually was basically very up tempo. Mm-hmm. And after that, it was a 6-yard run. Michael Carter on left tackle. Then a 7-yard run to Breece Hall, and then the touchdown. Ray, why don't you describe that? Because you actually were one of the few people, you were very confident in the touchdown.
It looked to me very clearly when he went that he stuck his hand out and stuck the ball over the goal line. So then they said it was a fumble, and everybody was there, and I said, it doesn't matter. Play's over. He scored. And they're like, no, one was saying, no, he didn't. The other said, I don't know. But then we recovered, luckily. So it didn't matter. It was either we had the ball at the 1, I think, still, or it was a touchdown. It was one or the other. And being inside of 2 minutes, we didn't have to throw a challenge flag and risk a timeout or anything. We just, it was a review from up in the booth.
Because it's the last 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, last 2 minutes. And you could see right before that ball gets knocked out of his hand, the first part of the ball, maybe only a few inches of the front tip of the ball, was over that white line. And it was, but then they went to commercial. I thought, they'll come back and tell us. We never seem to get the luck of that. But
I hate that.
As we came back, the guy's raising his hand saying touchdown. I was like, awesome.
Right. I want to ask you this. You saw it in real time and knew it was a touchdown?
I thought when it was in fast motion and he stuck his hand out, I thought, I didn't see it get hit out even right away. I thought I saw him stick his hand out, and I knew that he got it over the goal line. The only thing I wanted to see from the replay was, at what point did they knock it out of his hand? And so they were saying, no, he didn't get it there in time. I said, I thought he did.
Right.
But once we recovered, I knew it didn't matter one way or the other. It was still going to be our ball, and we were still on the 1, and we had 2 timeouts. we could have used one of the timeouts.
It's good that it has to be reviewed because
Yeah.
in my mind, first of all, I couldn't see it. Your eyes are quicker than mine, but
I was more where his hand was. I mean, I couldn't see the ball for sure. It was a fast move.
To me, there was absolutely no way that the referees could make an exact call like that in real time.
They did the right thing.
They did the right thing, and there was no argument from Tomlin, so I think it was good.
Yeah.
And then we kicked off. They completed a pass, and they tried that Hail Mary. We had another interception. I got to tell you
Joyner again.
I'm sorry?
Joyner
again. Yeah, he had a great game. This George Pickens, boy, that guy's some ball player. He's got some widespread. Yeah. A couple of things, Ray. And we were texting to each other. I don't know what it is. Everyone says this guy is going to be all pro for the next 10 years, whatever. There are times I'm looking at Sauce Gardner, and he looks like disengaged. Like there was a time today, there was a play, he was like a spectator. I thought he should have went in and hit the pile at least. Am I overreacting to that?
No, I don't think you're overreacting. On the one play that really bothered me was he looked like he was playing two-hand tag. The guy ran by him and he just gave him like a shove from the side. It didn't even try to tackle him. He just gave him a shove like he was going to knock him over. And luckily there were two other guys there that took him down at the same time, right around the time he shoved him. But had they not been, he'd have been still running down the field. I'm like, is this Deion Sanders part two? He can, he's a great cover guy, but he doesn't like to tackle anybody. And
I hope not.
I'm a little nervous about that. Yeah.
So am I. I mean, every week I hear all these incredible compliments, and I see he's got some great ability, but
great cover.
There are certain things I see about Sauce Gardner. Number one, I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ray, we're 2-2, and if you wait a second, I will go back and see who won the Patriot Green Bay game, because I think it was tied at one time.
It was tied, and then Green Bay was ahead, and then the Patriots took the lead back.
They're in overtime, 24-24, 6:47 to go. We'll probably sign off, go right to the TV. Ray, we're going to be back on the air Thursday, and we will be hosting next Sunday your favorite team in the division besides the Jets, the Miami Fish Dolphins. I know you love that team.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, listen, make sure everyone try to give us a thumbs up. And if you're watching this on Apple Podcasts, we could use a good review. We need a lot more of those. You want to keep this format going. Until next time, for Ray Clifford in Marysville, Ohio, I'm Marty Shupak. Ray, what was the name of that bar? Let's give it a plug, that the Ohio Jets. Do you remember it? Ray?
Slick Whiskers, I think.
Slick Whiskers in what town?
It's the north side of Columbus. I guess you'd say it's up around the Polaris or Lewis Center area. It's just north of town, north of the outer belt of Columbus.
If you're in Ohio, if you're in near Columbus or even Cleveland, and you want to have fun and join some Jet fans, this group is growing like every week. It's incredible. I might have to make a trip out there one week if this continues.
Slick Whiskers, yes. That's
Slick Whiskers. So until next time, this has been Marty Shupak and Ray Clifford.